Hello, I'm Christiana Figueres, and I would like to thank the organizers for organizing this Tokyo Dialogue on Sustainable Finance. Frankly, there is nothing more urgent right now than sustainable finance. I'm sure that you are all aware of the report that came out from the climate scientists of the world in October of last year, indicating very clearly the dramatic differences that we're going to have in human conditions, in biodiversity conditions, and in economic and financial conditions if we allow our temperature to go to 2 degrees as opposed to keeping the temperature to a maximum of 1.5 degrees rise. It is a dramatic difference that will clearly affect the quality of life, not only of our children, but of generations ahead of us. And I'm sure you're all aware of the report that came out just a few weeks ago from the biologists of the world, warning us that we have actually already driven to extinction 60% of all of the species that had been on this planet since 1970. So in the past 50 years, we have managed to load the atmosphere with very, very dangerous concentrations of greenhouse gases, and we have also managed to decimate the planet of its flora and fauna. And perhaps we don't realize it because we're all too busy in our routine activities of every day. But we have to stop a moment, stand back, and realize that we're only a few years into a new geological era, the Anthropocene, the era in which humankind has supremacy over nature. We are in full control of what happens to nature. That is a position of huge responsibility, but it is also a position of huge opportunity. We now have the choice of how we're going to write the history of the Anthropocene. Is it really going to be the era in which humankind decimated the planet of all of its natural systems, or is it going to be an era in which we, just in the nick of time, realized that we are all interconnected and that in order to prosper and grow, we must do so in a sustainable way? And there's no better way of showing that than through sustainable finance. Luckily, we already have quite a few financial institutions that are shifting their capital from the high carbon to low carbon or no carbon. That is a very good start, but it is not enough. We absolutely have to accelerate that shift and be very intentional about where our capital is going in order to help accelerate the transition toward low or no carbon economy over the next decade, because it is this decade that is going to determine whether we're able to keep a stable and safe world or whether we actually hit tipping points that will take us to very unpredictable circumstances in which no one is going to be exempt, and no region will be exempt. We've already heard from Mark Carney that, and from all of the other bankers in the green finance networks, 37 central bankers, who have very clearly stated that any corporation that fails to adjust will fail to exist. Well, to that we can add that any financial institution that fails to finance sustainability will fail to prosper. It is as simple as that. We frankly don't have another choice. The only choice that we still have is speed, and even that is not a choice. At maximum speed, forward into sustainability so that we can go into this century in a safe, sound way. Thank you for all your work today at the Dialogue, and please do communicate with each other, exchange ideas, and come out with very, very concrete ways in which each one of you will be accelerating sustainable finance.